So a lot of you people believe that vegans only eat rabbit food, which is true. Can we do this again? Hi, today to prove that I'm not a rabbit, I'm gonna make pizza. So the first thing you want to do is preheat your oven to 200 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, you might think that's kind of low, and it is. That's only around 90 degrees Celsius. But when you cook your food, you realize that you kill off all your enzymes, so now you have dead food. We don't want that. We want healthy, alive, vibrant food. So we're gonna preheat our oven to a super low temperature to make sure we keep those enzymes in our food. Next up, we're gonna make the base of the pizza, which is the dough. Now this recipe calls for several ingredients that you can't add. The first of them is yeast, because yeast is bacteria and bacteria is alive, and that's not vegan. Second of all, you want to omit the salt, because vegans are already so salty that adding more salt to our diet would probably be an issue of national security. So now we're just gonna go ahead and add all our ingredients. Just forget about the other ingredients, they're probably not important. Keep in mind you never want to use anything metal, like a fork, to mix up your dough, because metal is a dead, cold object, and you want to avoid that at all costs. Veganism is about being alive and vibrant, and metal is not that. Go ahead and add your extra virgin coconut oil, and then add vegan spring water. Go ahead and mix that all in. Can rabbits do this? No, they can't. I'm not a rabbit. You want to be careful not to knead too hard, because you might, beat the living enzymes out of the dough, and you never want that. This is honestly the most violent thing I've ever done. So when you're finished kneading your dough, it should look a little something like this. Now I'm not sure how authentic this looks or if this is right, but I haven't had a real pizza in such a long time that this is gonna taste exactly the same to me. True fact, gluten-free options exist, so your pizza dough doesn't stretch when you're trying to roll it out. It makes it go a lot faster. Eleanor Roosevelt used to be called Eleanor Roosevelt, but when she went vegan, she changed her name because having a moose in your name is really unethical. You're using their stuff without their permission. How could you? That's so cruel. So when you're finally done with your pizza dough, it should look something like this. And now we're on to the fun part. We're on to the toppings. The first really popular topping is tomato sauce. Everyone who knows their vegetables and their fruits know that tomatoes are fruits. So it's basically a fruit sauce you're putting on to the pizza, which is why I decided that applesauce would be just as good, and I picked up some applesauce that we could use as our base. Now remember, we want to be using ethical cutlery, so here are my bamboo chopsticks. I purchased these chopsticks on eBay from a seller called Eco Tree Girl. I realized that using a spoon would probably be a good idea, but I don't have like a bamboo spoon or like a wooden spoon, so I'm just gonna deal, You never want like anything metal touching your food. Oh, this? Yeah, this doesn't count because it's got like a non-stick layer on it. It protects your food from the metal. Metal is poisonous. So the next topping you're gonna want for your pizza is cheese. The first thing we're gonna use that looks like cheese is bananas. Banana will kind of melt in the oven, so it'll basically be like cheese. Like you won't even be able to tell the difference. So when you're done, it should look something like this. And if you want to even go like full out, you can even add like chia seeds. Chia seeds are great. They've got like the only source of protein you can consume in a vegan diet. So there's that. So a really popular topping with normal people is pepperoni. And obviously we can't eat pepperoni. But you know what we can eat that looks almost exactly the same as carrots. They're like red. And you can slice them into thin slices. So we're gonna put that on our pizza. We have something that looks almost exactly like pepperoni. Damn, doesn't that look delicious? You can tell that we vegans eat a lot of carrots because our eyes are really open to all like the issues of the world. Like we care so much about animals. That's what carrots do. They open your awareness. If you're still feeling like the carrots aren't enough, I love to add apple slices. It's kind of like when you add mozzarella on top. This is exactly like a real pizza. Now we're moving on to our next step, which is baking the pizza. So a really important thing you don't want to miss is you want to turn off the oven right now, because clearly we're gonna kill the enzymes if we keep it baking at 200 degrees Fahrenheit for a long time. You turn off the oven, and now you want to put it into the oven gonna bake. It's gonna bake in a cooling oven. And you're just gonna wanna leave it in there for 24 hours where you can have it for lunch the next day. Alright, so that concludes how to make a vegan pizza. I'm not gonna show you the final thing because I don't wanna cause a gag reflex among my audience, but I hope you see that you can create beautiful, vibrant food. And, oh, who am I kidding? No, you know, it'd be nice if you could turn off the camera right now. I'm gonna need to eject it from my mouth.